Well, hello. Well, hello there. Oh. Well, hello there. MJ, you're first. Bob, you're not first. Also, hi, Queerly. Congratulations to everyone. Uh, Welcome. Hopefully, the old thingamajig holds. I ran speed connection tests beforehand. Everything looks stable for now, but it looked stable last time, and then it just, you know. We're making tomato stuff today because I've got tomatoes and they are super ripe, super fresh, super fly. Don't know why I said that third one. But they're not going to last that long. They're not going to stay that way. Um, and I've been eating them, but we're going to cook a bunch of them. We also have hauled something out of the freezer because we have to haul something out of the freezer every single time. It's already been hauled out. It's in the sink. It's thawing. This time, I have pulled out beef short ribs. And the idea, because I've got fresh tomatoes, very robust flavor, strong tomato flavor. I have been eating them fresh. We're cooking them. We're going to stew them with the short rib. The short ribs will be stewed to the point where they just, hopefully, just fall apart. That's the goal. And we'll have this rich, savory something. I put nudes here. Could be served on noodles. Not sure. We can think about that as we progress through it. We're using up a few odds and ends as well. Because I did not go shopping today. That's another constraint. That's another constraint. Ray, hello! Another constraint is I had to work this morning, so I did not have time to do my usual pre-stream shopping trip. So we're just going with what I already had on hand and or prepped in advance. Which means for our stew sauce, something along those lines, I don't have any carrots. We're out of carrots. Which will be fine. I've got some bell peppers. They're a little bit wrinkly, perfect for throwing in something that's just going to get stewed away. Yeah. So general plan is going to be start cooking. Start cooking initially with the beef. We're making some sort of stewed tomato beef thing. Tomato beef thing. Thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I only put the meat in just like not very long ago. So it's not thawed. It only needs to be thawed enough for me to break it into chunks, for me to hack it up. Oh, how is everyone today? How are you doing? How you doing? Get in here. Glad to see you. What pot am I building this in? What pot are we building this in? I think it's going to be this guy. And I think we might end up with a one pot thing. Because then this kind of recirculates its juices pretty well. Oh, I know what I can zhuzh this up with. Okay, yeah, yeah. Odds, meat ends. Lamb fat. That'll give us some dimension. I'm not sure how many tomatoes we're going to use, but I'm going to bring all the tomatoes. Some of them are a little worse for wear. We're going to use all the ones that are worse for wear. Just There's some gorgeous tomatoes. That one's has developed a little spot, so we're using that one for sure. I mean, these are just like picture perfect tomatoes. Picture perfect tomatoes. Our bell peppers are a little on the wrinkly side. Those are not garden fresh. Those are bargain bin fresh. But this, "30 pictures a second." This is a garden fresh banana pepper. I only took one because I've had a bad habit of taking too many things and then throwing some of them away. So I'm trying to temper my take. So I'm not sure which tomatoes we're going to use. We're not going to use all of these. For sure that one because of the spot. This one I think just because, oh, it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful little guy. These are very intensely flavored tomatoes, these little, purple gem ones. This one with the splits I don't think is the greatest for slicing and eating, so we might throw him in there. That one's still in good shape. This one I think is starting to get a little overripe. That one also is starting to get a little overripe. These two seem fine. So we might end up with this selection of them going in. But we'll see. We've got plenty of time to play around with it. That's concerning. We might nix the lamb fat because of, you can barely see it, this little ghost on the side of the glass here. I think that might be some fur growing, which is a shame. I guess I didn't get to it fast enough. I can just barely see it, so shoot. But I don't trust any animal thing that develops any off anything. So I think we're gonna nix the lamb fat and then have to discard it as well. That's a kind of a shame, but I guess that's what I get for saving every little random bit and bob. We ate the lamb. That was a saved dripping. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Okay, well. I'm willing to overlook a little bit of offness in vegetables. Meats, no, because the things that tend to grow in meats tend to be hazardous. And the things that are actually hazardous are also the ones you can't see. I'm sure that that little ghost on the side of the glass is just normal, something. But that's not the one I'm worried about. I'm worried about it because it makes it look old. It makes me think it's old. That's a shame. I don't have any other cooking like hard fats. I've got some ghee. I've got some coconut oil. There is quite a bit of fat in the short rib themselves, so there might just be enough there. I was just gonna lube the pan with a dab of the lamb fat to give it a little bit of Depth. Yes. Yes, good idea. Good idea. Antagonize the neighbor. Okay, I think I can get these guys out of here now, so we're going to start the beefs. Short ribs that I got, I don't know when, because I don't label these things. But I think they still look pretty good. They've gone a little gray, and they're still a little frozen. That one doesn't want to come apart. We need a big, heavy knife to chunk through these things. I really want to go lengthwise on this one as well. I am not concerned about them being still a little on the frozen side. That will correct itself as we cook them. We're not cooking them like a steak, so I'm not worried about uneven. We're immersing them in hot liquid. They're gonna cook through. They're gonna cook fully through, regardless of what we do at this stage. They just need to be unfrozen enough to chop them up. And I'm going to throw them in the cold pan. I'm going to start heating the pan as I'm chopping them, but I'm not worried about that either. The pan is going to be too small for them to really brown effectively. They're going to kind of just stew and steam even from the get-go here. So how's everyone been since last week? I kind of abruptly left you guys. What did you think of the me doing the little tag, the ending video for it? I didn't do anything special. I just started recording as I was standing here after the thing died. Look at that marbling in these short ribs, though. That's why I grabbed them when I grabbed them. They just looked beautiful. Yeah, it was really because, man, when I gave up on it and it cut, it was like clearly not recovering. All we had done is prep. All we had done is prep stuff, and I was just at the stage of starting to throw stuff in the pan. I was like, dang it, I'm just gonna record this. And it looked like a bunch of people actually watched it, so that's good. The stuff was tasty. Man, was it peppery. And it got pepperier as it rested. The next day, the leftovers were challengingly peppery. Bookwoman, hello. So far, so stable. I did some connective tests before I started, but there was no sign of the fails of last week before it happened, so it still could sneak up on us. We are actually cooking from the get-go instead of just a whole bunch of prep this time, so at the very least, we're not going to lose everything. But hello, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. How's it going? How's it hanging? Cut through that bit. I'm kind of making Sunday gravy, yeah, basically. I don't know that that term is super well known, but essentially, somewhere between that and a chile con carne, because we're putting some peppers in it. But yeah, ultimately, that's kind of the target. Because I got fresh tomatoes that are going off slightly faster than I have been eating them as fresh tomatoes. So we're going to take the ones that are just slightly oldish, and then also a chunk of meat out of the freezer. Some kind of... I'm not going to deal with that gristle. Whatever that is, it's gone. Thought it was a piece of fat, but it looks like it's a piece of some really tough connective thing that did not want to cut in half. And I'm cutting these guys small because I would like all those connective-y bits to break down in the cook. Which might end up being a bit of a slow burner today. Just by the nature of how long this stuff wants to go, so I'm in no rush. Not this time. Okay, and then we will take the meat board immediately away, and the meat knife immediately away. And we will also dab up that one little drop that's by the tomato there with boop. Pre-cooked barbecue ribs. I mean, can't say no to some barbecue. I wouldn't say no to some barbecue. These guys are just in here, and they're gonna be cooking away pretty much the whole time, starting in their own juices. And then we're gonna add stuff to this pot as we go. And by the end, assuming we do this low and slow and long enough, it should just disintegrate into a lovely meaty thing. We're going to give it a little bit of salt now. I'm not really worried about toughness because of the intended length of cook here. I hope that pot's big enough. Glacier, you're not first. Congratulations, you made it. You did it. But yeah, I'm thinking a little bit of a chill day today. Well, hot day. But a chill hot day. I might move that to the back as we. In fact, I'm going to do that now. We're going to move that directly to the back there, and then we can cook stuff here and throw it in. Because there are a few things I want to like cook separately before they get thrown in. Not the boeuf. Not the boeuf this time, at least. But we'll also put the lid on it, because we actually want the juices to develop in there. Back over yonder. Oh, let's see. One onion. Actually, that bag is empty. That's the last onion too. That's the last onion. Chop a few things. Chop a few things. Oops. slippy, slidey spot right there. I just locked in and started chopping without saying anything. The chat suddenly stopped. My chat, not you guys. You stop. You guys are still there. My chatter just abruptly stopped. Okay, onion. Let's see. That one's got a little spot. That one's got no spot. That one's got no spot. So for sure this one. Okay. Take out our pith. I think we're going to treat this the same way, just a dice. And ideally, the same amount, so we should get out the same size bowl. I don't have the same size bowl. I have a slightly larger bowl. Knock the seeds out. Oh boy. Oh boy. Seed. But yeah, Sunday gravy is a decent description of this. Boy, I haven't thought about that in a while. Fun fact. Fun fact time. Did you know that a green pepper, a green bell pepper, has way more vitamin C than an orange? And it's like a huge difference. It's like 5 times the vitamin C or something. It's insane. So eat bell pepper. It's good for you. But vitamin C is not very heat stable. So when you cook your bell pepper, you lose a lot of the vitamin C. People often cook their bell peppers instead of eating them raw, and that is why an orange generally gets you more vitamin C, because people typically eat an orange either raw or less processed. And that was the fun fact. One pepper is about the same size as that one onion, so I think we're going to stop there with that. I don't know that I'm going to be adding any extra liquids to our pot on account of the tomato should give us plenty of juice. banana pepper. Let's see how spicy this one is. Sometimes these are spicy and sometimes they are not. That piece right there. Well, it has the flavor of a hot pepper, but it has the spice of a not hot pepper. So we're gonna just chuck it in for some flavor enhancement, because he's a mild one. That's okay. I've got some dried chile de arbol that can go in. And I've got some chipotle powder as well. We can judge the spice levels up. I don't know. I feel maybe it's because I worked this morning, but normally I don't work on stream day. I've been a while since I worked on stream day. But I feel, I don't know, low energy today. Not just kind of peaceful low energy. Not like tired low energy. Well, a little bit of tired as well. But just kind of like, I feel like chilling out. I feel like having a chill out. These are my garlic babies. We should use a bunch of those. We should use a bunch of those. What else goes in this? I guess if we're making Sunday gravy, I should pull up a recipe for Sunday gravy. See what they suggest. Yeah. Exactly. Sugo. Let's see. Tomato, meat, garlic, onion, olive oil, tomato paste, bay leaves, parsley, salt and pepper, and chili flake. That sounds very safe. We're gonna go weird with it. Well, not weird with it, but we're gonna go less than safe with it. Chipotle powder. Smoked paprika. I have no idea what was wrong with it last time. It just had a freak out. Like there was nothing specific. There was no notifications from Spectrum about anything that I heard. Just they just screwed it up. Cinnamon. Let's not do clove on top of cinnamon. We can do allspice. Let's Let's poke around underneath here. See what we got. We got ground cloves. We'll do a little bit of ground cloves. Hopefully it won't happen again. I don't know. It's still Spectrum nonsense. White pepper. More cinnamon. Ooh, a very old-looking garam masala. Caraway seed. That should be up here. Tandoori. Ozark. Allspice. Let's throw some allspice in. Yeah, Spectrum does not do good things for its customers. They are known for not doing good things for their customers. What they are known for is having regional monopolies, so that the people who want the internet have to deal with their nonsense, and they're just stuck. That's what I know them for. That and people complaining about them and dumping them as soon as it becomes available. So, we've got chipotle powder, smoked paprika, cloves and cinnamon, allspice, some real clumpy onion powder. Oh my God! What the heck? My onion powder lid popped open. Oh my God! You guys cannot see it, but there is a disaster of onion powder just to the left of your screen. Oh, it got in my water. What the hell? Why did that pop open? It's a... Okay, hold. Okay, hold. Jeez. Why did that pop open? That has never popped open before, and I was holding the lid. I literally had my hand on the lid and it popped. Get stuff out of the way here. I've got a vacuum. I can vacuum it up, but I'm going to sweep it up first. Look at all that. I'm going to have to go in here with a vacuum afterwards, but I got some in my onions. Ugh. I just cleaned the countertop, so it's probably still good. It's just going to be really hard to use. Here, I'll throw some of it in the onions. It looks like it largely missed the computer, the PC. That's good. So hold everybody while I clean this up. We're gonna go ahead and use a dustpan for most of it. Whoa! Hold while I kill this horsefly. Where did a horsefly come from? Holy crap. That was a horsefly. Holy crap. Things are happening today. Where'd you go, fly? We'll keep the swatter handy. Wow. Dinner and a show, yeah. Today. Oh, it got behind the computer. That's not ideal. Okay, well, guess I'm buying more onion powder. There's a smidge in there, but now I got a ton of it. I don't need any more. Garlic powder. Keep your eyes peeled for this horsefly. Oh, there he is. Jeez. This is becoming a whole thing. Come on, man. No. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing now. Land. I got him. Ho! Good thing I got him. And he's going all the way outside. He did buzz the onions. Well, I should say she buzzed the onions. Because she was full of eggs. When I squished her, she was full of eggs. So that's what she did. She probably smelled the meat cooking and came in thinking, I'm going to lay those eggs somewhere. Yeah, no, that was one you wanted to find for sure. So, not going to give those guys a chance in the garbage. They went out in the yard. They're going to get cooked in the sun. Okay, what an adventure we just had. What an adventure we just had. Hopefully we don't see any more of that today. Ew, gross. Where was I? I was cutting stuff. Oh, hang on, I gotta sweep the floor. There's also onion powder on the floor. Oh, there's quite a bit of onion powder on the floor. See, that's the part you don't see on most cooking shows. When the chef drops the onion powder, they cut, and then they cut, and then it comes back, and it's fixed. Or rather, they cut, and then they don't show you that part. 4.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. That's a good rate. I'll take it. Okay, so we're gonna use the split one. And we're gonna cut the little scar out of that. And I am using a serrated knife. I find this is a very sharp serrated knife. It's very effective for the tomato. The tomatoing, I have learned. So yeah, I hope that was you enjoyed the excitement there. And then I'm gonna lose just the little cap bit. Likewise, this one, except we're gonna remove that extra little spot instead of the oh, it is just skin deep, isn't it? Yep. So the serrated knife, I find it's very good at cutting tomatoes, and I think it's because the teeth do that thing. You probably see me do it where I'll start cutting something and then I'll do that move and nick it with the point to get it started, because it'll be something like a tomato, where I don't want to put a ton of pressure on it, but I just need to break that surface. The little teeth, they're very sharp little teeth, do that for me. Oh, 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 look at this tomato. Look at this tomato. And I'm not bothering to cut out the core because these are so ripe and so fresh that I have just, you don't even notice it, that it's there. Oh man. So the yellow one is on the milder side. This one is, but the yellow one's on the milder side, but is more, forms better slices. I have found. This one, these purple ones, are just intensely tomatoey flavor, but they're real wet. Honestly, a good saucing tomato. Yes, these are from our friend over at Fox. I forget what he called himself. He doesn't sell his things anymore. We could advertise him still, but he doesn't actually sell anymore, because he determined that it wasn't worth the trouble. It was a lot of time for not a lot of money. So now we all benefit from his... all of us, his friends, benefit from all the work he put in. Also himself. But I mean, look at these tomatoes. Look at this tomato. Oh, our beef is making noise, so I'm going to have to stop the tomato and head over to the beef. Oops. He should charge more than nothing? Yes, he should charge more than nothing. We get them for free. He was selling mostly his mushrooms at his farmer's market thing when he was trying it out. Okay, what has happened is our beef has cooked away all of its own juices. So I'm going to add things to it. And I'm going to start with the onion, which will add more liquid to the pot as it cooks out. We'll do the pepper as well. They were good mushrooms. He was growing out in his backyard. He was growing wine caps and shiitakes, but he also did a whole setup in his basement where he was growing oyster mushrooms and lion's manes and trumpets. It was a lot, honestly. Pinch of salt to help those vegetables express. Okay, back over yonder. What I was going to say is, look at these beautiful pieces of tomato. And then you take some salt, you throw some salt right on top of it, and you just go, mmm, 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 mmm. Man, fresh in-season tomatoes are just the, pardon my language, the goddamn fucking best. And I'm using a bunch here, but I've still got more, and he said they're still coming in, so I'll end up with more. I almost think it's a shame to cook them, but there's plenty to have some raw ones as well. Oh. So good. So good. I'm going to go with just the 4, I think. Because I'm going to greedily hoard this one so I can eat it fresh. Greedily. Although there's 4 more from over here still. Of that same size. We've used up all the small ones. But there's still 4 of those huge ones over there. Including one of the big yellow ones. Paper towel. Okay, well, that's them. You know, I ended up not cooking anything here, just throwing everything in directly. So I think I might just pull it back to the front to make it easier on myself. Please don't make love to the tomato. Just eat the tomato. Garlic babies are going in. They might look like little rices, but they're in fact tiny, tiny, tiny garlic cloves. I got those from. So you remember a while back I bought garlic scapes from the farmers market. Well, I didn't get to all of them in time, and they were starting to go a little bit yellow, but I just kind of ignored them going a little bit yellow, which turns out was the correct thing to do. Because after the stem had turned mostly yellow, the top part on each one of them popped open and was full of little tiny baby garlic cloves, which I know happens, but I've never had it happen from ones I bought like that before. So then I just knocked all the little baby garlic cloves off of their it's because the stems were all dried up at that point, but the little garlic cloves were good. Knocked them all off into this jar, and I got these little tiny baby garlic cloves. They taste just like kind of milder, slightly milder garlic, but still pretty garlicky. I'm aware of them, but I've never seen them in person before, is the thing. Over yonder, we're going to pull out a couple of chile de árbol. Without the seed? Let's go without the seeds. Slide over here. Chile de árbol is one of the most available hot chilies that also actually tastes like something. I actually don't know where to find whole cayenne. I do know where to find Thai chili, the bird's eye things. But not, and I can get those either dried or fresh, but I don't think those have a lot of flavor. They're just kind of hot. Chile de árbol, in addition to being hot, Actually tastes like something. And it's not explode your face hot either. I'm not a big fan of explode your face hot. Let's get that guy in there. The seeds are very hot, so we take the seeds out, but I think I'm going to throw in all of my powders now as well. We're going to let this sort of cook into itself for a bit. Once we throw the tomatoes in, they're going to start producing a lot of water that is going to make this into a soup. And then the goal is to cook the water back out and really concentrate our flavors. And oh my God, I got pepper on my hand and I did this. I just did it again. Scratched my nose. So we're going to wash our hands with dish soap to really, really try to nail it. True, true. I did not indeed do that. Okay, I think I'm going in with the tomato. Tomato. You know, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. To-may-to. A little bit of salt. I would be unhappy if that happened. Indeed. Oh, man. My nose hurts. My nose, it hurts. Let's slap the lid on this and let these guys cook down a bit. Oh, my nose. Jesus. It's hot. It's hot and spicy. It's hot and spicy on my nose. I don't like it. Don't do that to yourself. Oh, mamacita. We need to decide what we're going to serve this with. The Sunday gravy is traditionally served with like a chunky pasta. Chile con carne is, I think, usually served as a stew or with tortilla. We also have potentially, well, available. We have available rice and grits, and we have available we're going to do a fresh bread. We should have started it by now. We have tortillas. I have long noodles. I have rigatoni, which I think is the most traditional. In my mind, rigatoni is the most traditional. Pasta is the most traditional, and rigatoni is the most traditional. A big, chunky pasta to really sort of get the chunks from the stew caught up in it. We're still going to add stuff to that as well. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I was going to throw in some parsley stems because we're going to use some parsley toward the end, and we're going to use the stems. Ah, what did I step on now? Stung me. How much parsley? I don't know. Until I'm satisfied, I guess. We don't have any milk. Oil makes sense. Oh, my nose. Ow. It hurts. It burns. I have some heavy whipping cream. See, I want stems, which take these the longest ones, so I get lots of stem. What I should learn from this is not to scratch my nose when I'm cooking, just in general. Just a general rule. Don't do that. But you know that's not going to happen. You know that's not going to happen. That's enough parsley, I think. We will save the parsley part of the parsley, and we will cut up the stems, throw them in now, let them cook down and infuse their flavors. They're not dissimilar to celery stems, except that they are very, very small. I believe celery and parsley are related. I believe. Oops. Oh, God, why? I accidentally dragged a button. Since we have no celery, this is my next best thing. Gosh, and look how quickly, stirring that around, it turns to just soup. And it's no added water, just the liquid from the tomatoes has caused this sudden superfication. Although we might add more liquid if it gets too thick. We are going to turn it down and let it simmer away with the lid on. Bob says rice. Bob says moisten. Oh, Bob, but I got onion powder in my water. Oh, my nose is running. Jesus. Moist. Moist. Oh. Add wine. We could add some wine later on. Try to give it a little bit of a complexity, depth, interest, flavor. You telling me my meat sauce is bland? Saffron rice. Can I wrangle saffron rice on short notice? I mean, the root of the question is, have I got any saffron? Have I got any saffron? Has it got a saffron? It was over there on the spice rack, but I think it got... I mean, I know it got moved because it's not there on the spice rack. I think I still have it, and it just got pushed to one of these corner spots. There's a vanilla bean. I've got a vanilla bean in here. Nutmeg, tomato paste, tomato consomme concentrate, black garlic. Chili flake, red pepper jelly, bunch of spice blends, some yellow lentil, pesto, chimichurri, pine nut, sour sriracha, mole, chopped chipotle, vindaloo, bunch of flavor extract. Dropped one of them. There is no substitute for saffron. That is an actual thing. There is no substitute for saffron. Fennel, achiote, filet, dried mint. I guess I have dried mint. Who knew? Who knew? I should take an actual inventory of what's up here someday. Got so much stuff. Where? I know I've got a saffron. The reason I'm digging so hard is I know there's one in here. Cayenne, cinnamon, thyme. Dried lemon zest. Pork sung. Gochujang. Soba soup broth. Hoisin. Nori. Kombu. Hanko. Oh, why am I bothering to make this? Why am I bothering to make this sauce? I've got a jar of tomato sauce right here. I should just eat that. Same thing. What's this? Gravy powder. Ooh. I think what this is telling me is I need to take an inventory of my stuff and find things. Where could I have moved that? I know what container it's in. It's in a little orange bottle. It's in a pill bottle. It's in a little orange pill bottle somewhere. Those are actual pills. I am disappointed in myself. I'm going to give up soon. Let's see. Corned beef, grainy mustard, preserved lemons, cured olives, maraschino cherry, artichokes, hot pepper relish, sardines, goji berry, more sardines. Ugh. I'll take a look at that one in a sec. Pineapple juice, food coloring, alcoholic hot sauce. This one's tequila, this one's vodka. This one's bourbon. Lime juice. Lobster juice. Coffee. Hot cocoa powder. One teeny tiny little jar of honey. I have found it. From Shopko Pharmacy. Saffron. That much saffron. Okay, let's make saffron rice. I can smell the saffron as soon as I open up the pill bottle. Gotta put these other random bits and bobs away. Lime juice, huh? Put that over here so I don't forget about it. Tomato sauce, huh? Put that over here so I don't forget about it. I'm putting stuff in places where I'll see it. Because there's more than a few things in there that I looked at and was like, boy, I forgot I had that. I got one vanilla bean. It was $3 for one vanilla bean because this jar is supposed to come with 2 vanilla beans and one of them was missing. And the jar with 2 beans, it says 2 beans right there, did not cost $6. The jar with 2 beans cost $15. So that other bean was a real expensive bean, I guess. I get my saffron from the Shopko Pharmacy. Yep. It's the best place to get it. Well, if we're doing saffron rice, if we're doing saffron rice with this, we're getting out the rice cooker, but we got to treat it. We got to treat it right before we get it to the rice cooker. This. I'm not in Canada. I'm also not in Mexico. I'm in between those two things. If you can figure that one out. You know what I'm supposed to do is what you're supposed to do is put your saffron in some water. And then we're going to make rice. I did not actually get my saffron from a pharmacy. That was a joke. I was doing a goof. I am right next door to Michigan. A Canadian joke. I am right next door to Michigan. I'm in Wisconsin. So very much almost Canada, but not quite Canada enough for my taste. Okay, so that's half a cup of rice. We're gonna rinse it. We're gonna make nice rice. doing the rice rinsing entirely in the sink today. But it just involves putting your rice in cold water, swirling it around until the water becomes cloudy, and then pouring the water off while reserving the rice. And do that until the water does not become cloudy. And the more water you use, the quicker it'll go. So don't be afraid to really fill up the pot with water. Okay, that's looking pretty good to me. It's not crystal clear, but it's clear enough that after the swirl I can still see the rice bits at the bottom of the pot. And then we're going to put water in there. We're going to underload it with water a little bit. So I'm actually doing, I normally go a little bit more water than rice in the rice cooker. I got this one second hand, so I never got the instructions. But for this one, I'm going to go 1 to 1, and then we're going to add the saffron, which you've been watching gradually turn bright yellow. I think if the water was warmer, it would extract faster. But yeah, it's effectively dyeing the water, and that's good. You want that. That's also a sign that it's real saffron. You will occasionally find fake saffron. It looks like saffron, but when you put it in the water, it doesn't dye the cold water. It'll dye the hot water when you boil things, but it won't dye this the little bowl. But you really want to get your saffron like wetted and started. And then you don't want a bunch of extra ingredients in here, because now we're looking with this bright, this nice fun flavor. I am going to add just a tiny bit of salt. I always forget how long you're supposed to bloom it. Yeah. This one recommends grinding it before putting it in the water to maximize the water exposure. "30 minutes." Although this is an Iranian recipe, and it really wants to add saffron flavoring to things. So it's making a saffron extract juice. I don't think we probably need that. Boy, Tharian, you are you are in a mood today. Let's let that bloom a little bit longer and slide over and take a peek at our stuff. I left in all the tomato skins because I could not be bothered to deal with them. Ow. Let's give this a taste. See what we're working with. Ooh, ooh, rich, spicy. Rich, spicy, herby. I feel like it wants a few other things. I feel like it wants a little bit yet. I feel like we're taking this in a... am I going to thicken it? I'm going to cook it down. We're going to simmer it down. So I'm going to thicken it with time. Definitely does not need any acid. It's very... The tomatoes are very acidic. But we're going to throw in some crushed coriander seed. I think I want to throw in a little bit more cinnamon. Boy, that sure looks like a pot of brown, doesn't it? It sure looks like a pot of brown. Nutmeg is what I'm putting in now. And bay. And red wine, huh? Interesting. Interesting suggestion. How about sumac? We'll stir this in. Should have put the bay leaves in when I put the tomatoes in. like, two of you guys have said red wine. So, you know what? I can cave to peer pressure. Is that what you're thinking of? It'll make it less brown. No, I should use brown wine, so I don't ruin the color profile we've got developing. Oh, there's a little sticker on it. I should taste this wine as well. You know, just to make sure it's good. Did things get racist? I'm not sure they did. I was making a color balance joke. Let's taste this wine. Yes. Tomatoes, wine is often an added element to meat and tomato sauces. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's high quality wine, but it's reasonably drinkable. It's a little sweeter than I think I usually go for. It is a Franzia Cabernet Sauvignon. I was thinking a little extra sweetness in the stew here would do well, so I'm not mad about it. I found what I stepped on that poked my foot. It was a piece of salt. Over here. We need to put this in there. With an extra little swirl to make sure I don't lose any of it. White rice. No, if you, they say the same thing. I've heard them say the same thing, Radia. If you wouldn't drink it, you shouldn't cook with it. Because the idea, the supposed idea, is that when you cook with wine, you shouldn't use really nice wine because you will lose a lot of the complexity, a lot of those subtleties that you pay for with your expensive wine. If you So you should use cheap wine, but cheap wine sometimes is also just bad wine, and when you cook with bad wine, the bad flavors don't leave, they don't disappear. You do lose a lot of the complexity, but you also tend to preserve the bad parts. So it should be, don't waste your really good uh, really good wine cooking with it, but don't like save skunked wine for cooking either. Yeah, I'm noticing. I think Therian should have an intervention with no sharp objects in the kitchen. I'm noticing that a little bit. I basically don't drink wine. I do occasionally, but hardly ever. It's not. I'm not a big wine drinker, so I do seek out cheaper wines just because I know I'm going to want them for recipes. But it still has to be something palatable. We are not, I don't think we are going to need to add any more liquid to this. It is it is coming along. Rich, acidic. Little sweetness in there. The warm spices, the warm spices. Get a little bit of cinnamon, get a little bit of allspice coming in on the back. Good stuff. The flavor profile is definitely not your Sunday gravy flavor profile. It's also not an Italian or chile con carne flavor profile. This is giving me Moroccan flavors. This is giving me southern Mediterranean coast flavors. This is giving me like maybe a little bit of turkey. Maybe just a smidgen of like, I don't know. Morocco makes me Morocco is the thing that makes me think of the most. We're shooting for whenever the beef is so tender that it kind of falls apart. Which could take a while. That's why I went in first. I haven't even tested a piece yet because I'm pretty sure it's not there. I did try to cut them up pretty small to give them the best chance to do that. We'll see if we actually get how long that takes to actually get there. Chicken thigh tagine. Chicken thigh tagine. I don't think Morocco's in the Middle East, Therian. I'm pretty sure Morocco's not in the Middle East. I'm pretty sure Morocco is right next to Spain. Morocco, Ohio, Toledo, next to Toledo. Let's see if I can't get one of these small beef pieces just to give it a test. I think they're still going to be chewy. They are, but not very. Needs more time. I think by the time it reduces the liquid content, it will also have tenderized the beef. The beef is close. Close to being... The beef is at really nice beef stew level. It's got a little bit of a bite to it still, but it's not chewy. It's not just disintegrating the tender. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. I wanted to go for more tender than that, but we're going to leave the lid off so that it also reduces while it's doing that. I don't know much about... I can confidently say I don't know much about the southern part of the Middle Eastern food. The northern side I've explored a little bit. The southern part, I don't know. I don't know nothing. Maybe we should explore that cuisine a little bit. Yeah, Northeast Africa is Egypt. Northwest Africa is Morocco. But like, I don't know that I've ever done Egyptian cuisine. I've done... There was somebody, I forget their name now. There was somebody in chat who was from Lebanon and was talking about Lebanese food, and it sounded really good. Greek. Yes. Other than the fact that this has the tomatoes and the spices in it, or the piquancy, the hot peppers in it, I could convince myself that this spice flavor profile could be Greek. Oh man, do I smell saffron. Oh man, do I smell saffron. All of a sudden. Oh my God, all of a sudden. What are you doing to me? What are we doing? Egypt is the mane of Africa. That... No. 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 We should... Oh, God, I gotta dig stuff out from up here. I got this. Here. We're at the moment waiting for rice and stewing, so let's just talk about stuff. They didn't want this hot sauce, this scorpion pepper sauce, so I got it for 50 cents. I think it's really, really hot. Oh, yeah. It filled up the whole hotometer. I don't know how I'm going to use that. The first ingredient is scorpion chilies. The second ingredient is water. There's more scorpion chili than there is water in this stuff. Over oatmeal, that's a good idea. This is the kind of things I buy. Like, 50 cents? How could I say no? I got this one. Yellowbird Serrano for $2. Haven't tried it yet, but Yellowbird's got a good track record so far. So, and this one is flavored with cucumbers, serrano cucumber, onion, carrot, vinegar, garlic, sugar, salt, and lime juice. That one sounds good. Cucumber. If you look at those Yellowbirds, part of the reason I think that they're so tasty is they've got I've got my my agave sriracha here. Red jalapenos, blue agave, distilled tangerine juice. They're putting stuff in there, and that's what I said when I tasted this one. It has this like fruitiness, this brightness to it that's really different. They're putting stuff in there to complement the flavor of the peppers instead of just going pepper wild with them, which is better. That's why Marie Sharps makes good hot sauce for a similar reason. It's not just let's make a hot sauce. It's they're trying to make a flavorful sauce. And yeah, they're putting hot stuff in there, but that's part of the flavor they're trying to build. What else should we cook? Oh man. Oh man. We should do corned beef with the little key. Corned beef. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're premium. That's about how much they cost here. That one was just being clearanced for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not going to pass it up. This. Madagascar bourbon vanilla extract. I'm not sure what Madagascar bourbon. It says pure vanilla. So I don't know what the bourbon means, but $3 for a jar of vanilla extract. It's an insane price. It has been that long. I swear you've been here before or since then. In between. I swear. I swear. Just go through the nonsense. Just go through the nonsense. Just go through the nonsense. I've got a big jar of pork sung. Pork sung. That's good stuff. I had a little jar of pork sung and I ate it all. I got a big jar of pork sung. We could throw some of that in the gravy to thicken it up. Jay! Oh my God, Jay! You wrote a whole thing. Madagascar Bourbon Vanilla is a high-quality vanilla bean made from vanilla planifolia orchids. The name bourbon has nothing to do with whiskey. It honors the former Ile de Bourbon, now Réunion, off Africa's coast where the French first grew the beans. Today, Madagascar produces most of its global supply. Jay! So, what you're saying is premium vanilla for $3. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Not all of this is discount stuff, but man, is a lot of it discount stuff. Jar of fancy mustard. $2. I got one for you. I got one for you. Jay, we're going through my cupboard because we're waiting for saffron rice to cook, and we're waiting for this to reduce and fully tenderize our beef. I want the beef. I want my teeth to not notice that there's a beef there when I bite into it. So we're and I want it to be thicker than this. So we're cooking it down with the lid off. And while we're doing that, there's saffron rice is going. This guy. Very shiny. Mina Moroccan preserved lemon. Not sure what to do with them, but they were free. They weren't even discount priced. They were $0 because they were a gift. Sometimes I get gifts. Not often, but sometimes. Sometimes we get gifts. Like this stuff. Like this stuff. A tiny bottle of sriracha that's clear because it's actually sour candy sauce. Horrifying. That one was also a gift. I did not buy that. Melee. Preserved. I don't know what to do with the preserved lemon. I don't know anything about preserved lemon. Shall we chuck one in the beef stew here? The Sunday gravy? I don't know if Jay knows what a Sunday gravy is. These haven't been opened. Well, right here, the preserved lemons are salted. Ooh, and very lemony. No blips on my end. No blips on my end, clearly. We're clean and clear. So what do you do with preserved lemon? What do you do? I'm going to ask the internet. Well, there you go, Bob. Preserved lemons are used to add bright, salty, citrusy flavor to a variety of dishes such as stews, salads, and marinades. They're often used in North African cuisine to enhance recipes like chicken tagine. But what do you do with them? Put them in a salad. Cook them in a stew. Okay, well. Stopped clock. When did you stop? It says you can put them in a salad, so you can eat them straight up, so I'm going to try a piece. Mmm. That's real good. That is not sweet at all. That's real good, though. It is salty and sour. I am putting that in our soup, our stew. Chop it up. That is not sweet at all, and it is quite salty. But it is a flavor element that, and it's actually significantly less sour than I was expecting. But it's a flavor element that I think will complement what I'm doing over there. So we're going to chop it up and throw it in. got enough time on this that they can cook in and get to know the dish. This is starting to get thick, though. It's starting to cling at the bottom. And it is starting to thicken up in a way that I quite like. In a way that I much appreciate. Let's scrape down all of our sides, make sure none of the good stuff is high and dry. Kind of lucked into them today. But the lemons? I actually had the lemons for a while. I have a lot of things that I don't know what to do with. I have a lot of things that either sounded interesting, were on sale, both, or someone else found them, thought they sounded interesting, and gave them to me to see what I would do with them. And some of them didn't get doed with very fast. The saffron rice claims to be coming along. For example, the saffron. I don't often cook with saffron because I'm always afraid of it. I know the most basic thing to do with it is just make saffron rice. I love saffron rice. But saffron's expensive, so I only want to do it like special times. Lemongrass. I think where I've got it now, I probably wouldn't add lemongrass. But I think come at this a little bit, a few steps ago, and I think that would work really well. Peach preserve. Alcoholic hot sauces. Sardines. Dill. We're not throwing dill in this. Chile de árbol. We're not throwing any more chile de árbol in this. I have some beef stock too that I was gonna maybe throw in this if we needed more oomph, but there's so much liquid came out of the tomatoes that we absolutely do not need more oomph. We are oomphed. Otherwise, I think lemongrass would go well in this. We've definitely kind of thrown the spice rack at this. I think whole pieces of lemongrass would be kind of awkward. You would have wanted to put them in right at the beginning, and then you'd want to fish them out like I'm going to do with the bay leaves. But the powder you could put in when I put in all the other dry spices and would be just fine. That's a good question. How does it taste now? Let's really stir it in. Almost everything in there has broken down to be unrecognizable, aside from the bay leaves and the pieces of beef and the tomato skins that are still hanging out. She's getting thick. She's getting thick. And really hot. Oh my God. It's beefy. It's spiced. I mean, a lot of the flavors are blending together, which is what happens when you stew. It's spicy, it's savory, it's acidic. I wonder if it could use a little bit of sweetness, just straight up sweetness. It's got a lot of complexity, but I'm not able to really pick out individual flavors aside from beef. Does it want just a little bit of extra sweet? There's quite a lot of sugar in the tomatoes. Sugar would take the edge off the acidity. So I think I am going to add some sugar. Not to make it sweet, but to try to take the edge off the acidity, because it's still, I think it's a little bit harsh. I think it's a little on the harsh side. Just a smidgen. Get that all stirred in. This is the kind of thing where really you could throw this in a crock pot, all of it as is, because I didn't even brown off the meat. I didn't brown off anything. This is a one pot deal. I could have realistically taken all of this, thrown it in the crock pot in the morning, come back in the evening and had it ready to go and loved it. I wouldn't be able to do all these little fine adjustments, but if I knew what I was putting in it at the start, I could just do that, and I would have a really, really nice end point. Because we are just kind of cooking this together. Brown sugar could work here, or just a dollop of straight molasses. The bitterness from the molasses would add some dimension. The sweetness would help take the edge off the acidity a little bit. I do have molasses. Because of course I do. That's our rice beeping. There, I've done it. Boy, molasses is messy. I love molasses though. It's sweet and bitter. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. I don't have brown sugar, but I do have white sugar and molasses. Get that stirred in there. Other things you could add to this, I wouldn't maybe necessarily go with add, but other things you could put in this in a spice mix. I think this would take cacao quite well. Just cocoa powder, some cocoa powder, to give that dark bitterness. I think a lot of things. But whichever direction you take this in, you're gonna steer it in different cuisines. You're gonna steer this in different cuisines. We could have, and in fact, I thought about. It wouldn't use the tomatoes, so I wouldn't do it necessarily here this time. But I have thought about doing chocolate peanut butter chicken, or steak or something. Make a peanut sauce that is also a like cacao-based sauce. And then like lean in and present. Chicken, arrow pointing at steak. I agree. But you forgot the little stem in your arrow. There you go. Our saffron rice beeped. Let's click on over here. Let's click on over here. And take a look at it. It sure is yellow. It sure is yellow. Recipe. You can imagine what this tastes like. This is going to taste like a Moroccan spiced beef stew with saffron rice. The peanut chocolate meat, that is something else. We'll do that when I feel like getting crazy at some point. Give this a little. Sounds kind of on the mild side, actually. You can taste it, but it's not real strong. It's quite perfumed, but not flavor real strong. Lovely yellow to it, though. We'll do crazy. I had to do something with tomatoes. I had to fresh tomatoes. Don't worry. I will come up with some nonsense to do with cocoa and peanuts that is not a sweet. That is not a sweetum. Slipping back over here. Let's push this around. Find one of these chunks au boeuf. Because they sure haven't disintegrated. I want to find the biggest one. Now I want to know what the biggest, gnarliest one is doing. That one looked a little bit gnarly. It's not very big, though. That looks like some gristle. If that's tender... It is not quite completely disintegratingly tender, but my teeth just kind of pass through the chunk. The chunks are holding together, but my teeth just slide through them. And I think that, and it has thickened substantially. I think that's where I'm going to call the cooking process. Or at least say we're ready to start doing further steps with it. Can I detect the lemon? Not directly, but after adding it to the thing, it was definitely a little bit more acidic. So adding the sugar after the lemon was probably because I noticed the acidity from the lemon. I don't know. It's still, there's another fly. This one's not a giant horsefly, which is great because I don't want one of those around the house. This one just looks like a regular housefly. Whenever I do a long, slow cook of meat, yeah, early on I said this one's gonna be kind of a slow, chill thing. Whenever I do a long, slow cook of meat, a fly inevitably comes to check it out. I have discovered.